It's a very early Sunday morning on this October 23rd. I wanted to get this video up. I have a few things to do this morning, and then later this afternoon we're going to try to get out and do a little bit of training. I'll try to post some of that on my Facebook page, so if you want to check out some of the training, I will try to get that up on Facebook in the next day or two. But there's a few things that I just wanted to share with all of you, a few articles I was reading last night that I thought were pretty interesting and at the same time very, very concerning. This one right here, the federal government collected $4,896,119,000,000 in fiscal 2022, according to the monthly Treasury statement released on Friday. That is up $518 billion or 11.8% from the previous high that the U.S. government collected in fiscal 2021. So I bring this up because these numbers are astonishing, number one. But why is it that we are paying more in taxes, getting less? Why is it that the middle class is being absolutely gutted? And when you're spending nearly $5 trillion, when a government is taking in nearly $5 trillion in taxation, why in the world is the standard of living for the average American continuing to collapse? Why are things not getting better but getting worse when you're bringing in record revenue? And one reason is because the system cannot stop spending. More is going out than coming in. This is just pure recklessness. And so many people are just getting absolutely destroyed, working as hard as they can, paying record high taxes with record high inflation, not getting ahead. You would think a country taking in over $4.8 trillion that we would see things improving, getting better, infrastructure, standard of living, our school systems, everything. But everything continues to go right down the toilet. To me, this is just pure criminality when you see the amount of money that the system is collecting. And yet, what are you getting for it? How much of this money is going overseas? How much of this money is going to support wars around the world? And why isn't this money going to help people right here? You know, I look at these commercials that play daily. You want to support homeless people, you want to support the military, you want to support this group, that group. Please send donations. Donate. Why in the world should we have to donate money to take care of our own people, to take care of our own soldiers who've had limbs blown off, who have PTSD, who are living on the streets, when we're taking in record-breaking amounts of money in taxation? Where is all the money going? Please comment down below. I'd love to know what you think about this. And where do you think all the money is going? And is your life getting better? Is the economy getting better with all this money that they're generating through taxation? Is the economy getting better? Somebody wrote me last night, very, very interesting, and they said that they were at a Dodgers baseball game last week and beers were $20. The seats, the stadium was sold out. Everybody had $20 bills, so the economy is booming. They told me the economy is booming because everybody at Dodger Stadium was holding a $20 beer, and that the stadium was sold out, and $500 tickets everywhere, sold out. So the economy must be doing well because Dodger Stadium is sold out. That is a terrible, terrible way to gauge the economy. I would say how much of that, if it's even true, because you can buy tickets to get to a Dodgers game for $20, but and I think you're nuts if you pay $20 for a beer, but how many of those beers were bought on credit cards? How many of those baseball tickets were bought on credit cards? And how ignorant is it for somebody to base the economy because Dodger Stadium is full of beer drinking baseball fans? But that's how people now gauge the economy. There is a lot of ignorance out there, and these people, I believe, are getting very, very scared, very, very worried because they know that things are breaking right now. They know that they're not prepared. They know that they're not going to have time to prepare. Many of them are too broke at this point to prepare, and they're going to have a very, very unfortunate future ahead of them as this economy continues to collapse. So enjoy the $20 beers, enjoy the baseball games. Here's another one today. 33% increase in repos. Auto loan debt is spiraling out of control. It's not just credit cards. It's not just mortgages that are raising red flags in this economy. It's auto loans. Average car payment right now is $733. That's nearly $9,000 a year that the average person is paying for an auto payment, almost $9,000 a year. Those loans made in 2021 are starting to show higher delinquency rates relative to loans that originated in previous years. Subprime loans have had a 33% increase in delinquencies. And you have to think that this is just now, the economy is just now really starting to seize up. How bad could this get? What does this look like 6 months from now, a year from now? Does it get better? Does it get worse? You know the answer to that. Common sense tells you right now that it's only going to get worse. It's going to get worse for people that are going to get upside down in their homes, people who are going to be upside down in their cars. And think about how quickly cars depreciate and the amount of bad loans that these banks made on these depreciating assets. And I've shot a couple videos. You can see, and you've driven by the car lots, you see the amount of used cars now beginning to pile up at the car lots. And it's going to be a big problem for these banks, because when people lose their jobs, ladies and gentlemen, and they are upside down in a car, they can't sell it, it's worth less than they could sell it for, they're going to just not pay it. And the bank is going to have to repo the car. The car will be worth half of what they lent on the car, or even less. So they're going to completely, just eat it. And this is going to be for millions of cars. These banks made horrendous loans on these automobiles. Loan to value, 140% of some of these vehicles. They are absolutely going to get decimated. Yet we're told that the banks are safe, everything's fine, the banks are in great shape. Yet they made terrible loans on boats, RVs, automobiles, and housing is next. Remember, the auto industry is 6 to 12 months ahead of housing, and we are beginning to see serious cracks in housing. Here's another one from The Hedge. The middle class is dying. 50% of American workers made less than $3,133 a month last year. We talked about this a couple days ago. And when you look at the average person paying $733 a month for a car, and I forgot what the rate was, many people paying over $1,000 a month. It's a very high number of people paying over $1,000 a month. And yet you have people making about $37,000 a year, shelling out, and that's before taxes, then shelling out $9,000 a year on an automobile. How does the average American worker survive this? How does the average person at this point even sleep at night? I could not even imagine having a credit card bill, $700 car payment, cell phone payment, cable payment, food, rent, you name it. What is left? These numbers are so hard to even digest when you start thinking about how much money is going out and how little is coming in, and how many people must be running in the red at the end of the month, and how long can you sustain living like this. And this is really how our country lives. We have more money going out than coming in. What's the deficit now? About $1.5 trillion. $1.5 trillion more goes out than comes in. And we have too many American households where more money is going out than coming in. And if it weren't for credit cards, these people would already be homeless. But credit cards, at some point, all credit cards have something in common. They have a limit. And when people hit that limit, there's no more credit. And we're gonna watch people hit the limit and basically hit the wall. And they're going to have some very, very tough decisions to make at that point. Another article I wanted to share, this comes from CBS News. U.S. home prices could fall as much as 20% next year. Now, I wanted to just ask all of you, what do you think next year? What is in store for the housing market? Everything I watch on the television, all the videos out there, everybody now agrees that we're going to see big trouble in housing. Question is, how big will the trouble be? Will we see a 10% correction next year, 20%, 50%? And how long will this collapse of the housing market last? We're beginning to just see the cracks right now. We're not seeing the collapse. We're beginning to see the cracks. When do we see the collapse? I think it's very, very possible that we could begin to see the collapse begin in 2023. But how long would it last? Would it go into 2024, 2025? I mean, these things don't just last a month or 2 months. A housing collapse can last for a year, could last longer. Remember that during the last crash of 2008, we did not even see the REOs come on the market till about 2010 and 2011. It was 2 years, even 3 years, even 4 years that the banks started releasing these properties onto the market for sale at huge, huge discounts. So this could take quite a while. And people in the industry, I hope and pray that you saved your money, because you are going to have some very, very lean years ahead of you. People in the mortgage industry, these industries are going to get absolutely smashed. If you're a real estate agent, you are going to live through, I believe, one of the worst real estate collapses in U.S. history. So I hope you've prepared. Here's another one. 401k contributions limit leaps by record amount as inflation rages. This also on the hedge this weekend. The boost to the 401k maximum is the biggest one ever. Retirement investors will be able to contribute $2,000 more in 2023 than they could this year. The limit on so-called catch-up contributions available to those who are 50 and older is rising by $1,000 to $7,500. Just what people need as they're struggling to pay their basic needs. 20 million households struggling to pay their utility bills. But you can contribute more to the Ponzi scheme. You can contribute more to these scams. Right now, the average person has lost $34,000 in their 401k, and they're going to allow you to, wow, isn't that nice? They're going to allow you to contribute and pay in more into these scams so they can steal more from you later on. It's funny how, people have been so, it's not funny. It's sad, actually, how people have been so duped and, so trained and brainwashed that I'm going to go work for 30 years and I'm going to get my 401k and retire. And these 401ks, if you take it out early, you're going to get severely penalized. I think they said the average 401k is about $40,000. Who's going to retire on $40,000? People literally in this country have nothing saved up for retirement, and inflation is absolutely demolishing anything that they had saved up for retirement. And so people are going to have to work till they're 90, basically. They've robbed Social Security. They told us that basically the money will run out by 2034. It may run out sooner than that, but they're going to give everybody an 8.7% raise next year. Which is wonderful, but where is the money coming from? And as more people retire, and we have less people working, and we have less quality jobs, less paying jobs, more service sector jobs, more part-time jobs, paying in. How do you pay into Social Security and these pensions and keep everything going when people aren't working and people are working part-time? It just mathematically does not add up. Something is going to give, something is going to break. We're going to see pensions break. We're going to see Social Security break. We're going to see big trouble, ladies and gentlemen. But the whole pension system, pensions rely on a 7% return a year in these markets. They're not getting it this year, and they're not going to get it next year. So we're going to continue to see more and more unfunded, underfunded pensions. And I do believe we are going to see a lot of people see their pensions cut by a pretty big number. There is a good possibility that many people are going to see a 50% cut in their pensions. And we're going to see pensions that at some point cease to exist, and people are going to have nothing. And this is why I make these videos. Don't rely on your pension. Don't rely on your 401k. Don't rely on the money you have on a computer screen. to be there for you when you retire or to even be there tomorrow. You must be your own central bank. You must rely on yourself in case that some of these things go down, that you have something to fall back on. It's too many people are reliant on their retirement plan, their 401k, their pension. And while they're watching baseball games, drinking beer, watching football, playing video games, watching Netflix, whatever they're doing today, they have no idea that the system is being robbed. Inflation is robbing you. The politicians are robbing you. And at some point, you're going to wake up one day and realize that there's nothing left. You have nothing. They took it all. And you can blame the politician. You can blame the financial institutions. You can blame anybody you want. But you're going to have to look in the mirror at some point and blame yourself because you have been warned. You are responsible for you. And unless you understand that, there is a very good chance that you are going to be victimized by this economy, by the system, by the financial institutions, by the Ponzi schemes. So don't let it happen to you. So be diversified, have things out of the system, have cash, have assets, get your debts paid off, and don't be 100% in the system. Another one I want to share with you here, coming from the hedge. Illinois now has the worst unemployment rate in the nation. They're saying it's 4.5%. I think with a lot of this data, you have to just multiply it by 2, and that's probably the real number. Inflation, multiply it by 2. Unemployment, multiply it by 2. Probably the debt, you could probably multiply it by 2. But Illinois is a mess, and Illinois is just an example of what is coming to most of the states right here in America. Illinois is broke. Illinois at some point is going to need a bailout. People are fleeing the state of Illinois. I grew up in Chicago, Illinois, know it very, very well. It is just a tragedy what they did to the state, to the city, an absolute tragedy, criminal, repulsive what they did. But it's happening all over the U.S. The homeless epidemic, the drug epidemic, the debt, everything. It just the lawlessness and crime. It's happening everywhere. But Illinois will probably be one of the first states that begs for a bailout. And it's so sad to see such a beautiful city like Chicago and what has happened to it. But it is a reminder to all of you that if it can happen to a Detroit, if it can happen to a Chicago, it can happen to you. When you go to LA, like I do every once in a while, and you see this once beautiful city, it almost brings a tear to your eye to just see what has happened to the beautiful buildings, the infrastructure, the amount of homelessness, drugs, graffiti, gangs, crime. It's really it's disgusting. It is really disgusting. Such a beautiful, beautiful city with an amazing history, and it is just. It looks like in some areas, and I kid you not, if you watch some of my past videos from Skid Row and some of the homeless videos, it looks like a war zone in some areas of LA. A war zone, and it's coming to a town near you if it hasn't already. We were just talking to some people today from Portland, and what has happened there. I don't need to tell you that. Looks like a war zone in some parts of Portland. So it's coming to a town near you. It's right out here in the desert. If you come and visit Palm Springs, as the sun sets in Palm Springs, it begins to look like an apocalyptic movie in some parts of the town with the zombies that come out. And a lot of people don't feel safe. And crime is skyrocketing in Palm Springs, just like it's probably skyrocketing where you live. But I just wanted to share some of these articles with you this morning. And it just gives me motivation to get out and train today. It gives me motivation to just get out, hit the gym, get in better shape. It gives me motivation to walk closer to God and say my prayers. And I'm certainly no angel. I'm not perfect. I don't sit here and try to act better than anybody else. I'm just trying to be a better human being, trying to walk a little closer to God. And, we really have to tap in to that energy. The most powerful energy, the most powerful force is God, and it's right there, it's free. And we need to tap into it because we need every advantage that we can get. Put the odds in our favor. We talk about that every day, having the food, the water, the gold, the silver, better mental, physical, and financial shape. Tap into the most powerful energy, and that is God. And that is going to give you direction, that is going to give you strength, that is going to give you protection. So as I leave you today on this Sunday morning, give all things to God, walk close to God, ask for direction, ask for strength. It will be delivered. But I'm going to get out today, run some errands. We're going to get out, do some training, get in a little bit better shape, work on our skill sets. I'll try to put a little bit of that on Facebook, so check that out. Other than that, have a wonderful week, and I look very forward to speaking with all of you very, very soon. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure that you share all of my videos, and make sure that you subscribe. If you want to support the channel, best way to do it is subscribe. Hit that bell notification also so that you are alerted with the newest videos. God bless you all. Have a phenomenal week. Talk with all of you very, very soon.